Let me start the show by saying one thing to you. Happy Veterans Day.
Go ahead, child.
Happy Veterans Day to you, my friend.
Happy Valentine's Day to you, too.
Welcome to Those Guys from Wichita, everybody. I'm Conrad. This is Shannon.
Buddy.
We're from Wichita, but we're in Oklahoma.
Bingo. Random bingo bango.
So if that's confusing to those of you out in Radio Land, get out your map.
Yep. Plot your course.
Or your globe.
Yep, that'll work.
Just get a magnifying glass.
A very large globe, you know.
And find the country that looks like a big triangle, kind of.
Yep.
That's us, United States. And then go right to the middle.
Right.
And then put a pin there, and then go down.
Skip over the dribbly. the drib.
Yeah.
We're kind of near the middle drib.
Yeah, we're right there, the middle drib.
The middle hang.
That's where we'll be.
Go straight up north of the middle hang. That's where we're at, right there.
And I don't know if the other guys are doing a show, so you might
I
get
think so.
double show.
Tone in. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I haven't got report that they were doing a show. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I don't think Eric.
I don't know. Eric got lost. I don't know. Eric's extremely busy. Stuff must be shaking at work for him because I thought Thursday was going to be a day off for him. Today was supposed to be a day off, so he probably enjoyed it with the kids because I think they are out of school today. Maybe not.
Well, I think they're out of school every day. They're homeschooled.
Yeah,
you know
well, I mean, you know what I mean.
Out of
the
regimen.
Yeah, out of the regimen.
Because even a homeschool takes off for Veterans Day.
Well, yeah, I know that their homeschool does because his wife's brother is
related to a veteran.
Is a veteran.
There is one.
Yeah.
Well, if you know one,
reach out.
Check on them.
Check on
It's
him.
cold outside.
It is chilly.
So-
Bring him inside. Feed us some chili.
Oh, man. It is the 11th of November today, the year of our Lord, 2022.
Remember.
And I got to figure out, I got to remember to pay my credit card bills.
Okay, we got to pay the water bill here too.
Yeah.
Water. Because everybody likes water. I think it was $31 and change. I don't know where we have to send it. Return to sender. This is not us. You know?
Okay. I got a bunch of stuff that I haven't got to, and some of them are really good ideas that I've been waiting to tell people.
Haven't let off your chest?
I haven't let them off my chest. Do you want to start with a complaint segment, or do you want to start with a invention?
Oh, let's start with complaint because then we get mad and then get glad.
Okay. Well, I got two. Okay, we'll go this way. We'll go complaint. You don't watch football, NFL, very often.
No, I mean, if I walk in somewhere
and it's on,
to get a can of SpaghettiOs or something, and it's on at Walmart.
If you go down to Spaghetti by the Bucket in Shawnee,
if I go to Sketty by the Bucket,
you might see it,
or our favorite Taiwanese.
Yep.
That's got signed pictures of quarterbacks from all over the NFL, and it happens to be on.
Yeah,
I'll take a gander at it. I'll
you're not
gander
confused. You're not like, what is this?
I don't. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand the sport.
Right.
I understand how it's played. I just haven't watched in a hot year.
Okay.
Or
well,
3,
here's
5,
my issue that you
10.
are not aware of.
Okay.
I don't think there's a gentleman.
Male cheerleaders.
Well, that I have a sexist complaint too, but.
Okay.
On the complaint of broadcasters, okay, there's a guy.
If you say anything,
what they've done, all right, what they've done. There's
about Aikman or my man Joe Buck.
They're fine. They're grandfathered in. They're grandfathered in.
Good.
There's
Aikman got in trouble saying something.
There's a new kid on the block.
Did you hear what Aikman said?
Yeah, he said to
take your dresses off.
Put your panties on, or your face, or
hope they
something.
take the dresses off or something.
Yeah, and I like Aikman.
I think he got fired.
And that guy's got CTE pretty bad.
He didn't know what he was saying. He could blame it on concussions, dude.
Yeah. This other gentleman never got a concussion, and he played in the NFL for probably 20 years.
Terry Bradshaw.
Freaking Pat McAfee.
Oh, I thought you would say Summerall.
Pat McAfee. Okay.
The owner of the McAfee
spy thing?
Spyware?
No, but yours is probably out of date. You need to restore that.
I need to update it.
No, Pat McAfee was a punter for the Indianapolis Colts, maybe even a place kicker too. I don't know, but kicker,
barefoot,
and he regular cleated feet and
cloven,
and these, and he kicked for 20 years, and nobody paid attention to him. Nobody was like, "Oh, this."
I didn't know who he was. Yeah,
this guy's a hoot.
Number one, he plays for the Colts. Who cares?
Nobody. And he's played probably with Tony Dungy. With all of Peyton Manning, all of the people. Jim Irsay was the owner. He knows everybody. Played 20 years in the NFL.
Right.
Gets out of the NFL, starts a podcast.
Okay. I'm listening.
He does a podcast, a sports-related podcast.
Hello.
Where this dude, all he does is wear cut-off T-shirts.
Okay.
And
interviews kickers.
No, he acts as if like he's the leading expert on football.
Right.
And he's just become another Kirk Herbstreit or whoever, talking head person. But it's like they're grooming him. It starts as his own thing, like Barstool. He can say what he wants. They can cuss because he's on a podcast. Well, now the mainstream is like, this is really big. So now is
this the guy that does the pizza contests?
No, but that's the guy who started the Barstool, and then I think this.
I figured
this is like
he
like
looks
the
like
same
a kicker.
Same
he looks
universe.
Like a weasel kicker.
Well, that guy might be a kicker. That's just a weasel. You're right.
Man,
but
irritating.
But I don't understand about this Pat McAfee fella is why the mainstream is grooming him to become the next Kirk Herbstreit.
Okay.
So like Kirk Herbstreit is making the transition from college game day stuff into the NFL.
Sure.
So they gave him Amazon's Thursday night game.
Great.
Which is hilarious.
Yeah, it's easy.
Then this guy now has been showing up at college game day on the panel, this Pat McAfee fellow.
Okay.
And he's got to put on a suit and actually be a legitimate broadcaster where they sit up there and make predictions, not curse and don't do anything outrageous. But have some sort of hot take that then they can at halftime.
Well, he's wearing
take it
his
back.
cutoff T-shirt under that suit, don't you think?
Oh, I'm sure that T-shirt. I mean, his suit on the back says Liquid Nails. I promise you that.
Oh yeah, he's sponsored.
But this guy is a fucking waterhead, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he is
really
bona fide waterhead. And when I see his segments go viral, and I see the amount of comments and the amount of traction a clip from his show gets when he's talking about Antonio Brown or whatever the situation of the day is.
You don't want to live anymore.
I don't want to live anymore.
Yeah, something inside you dies. And I this happens to me
but
so much.
Here's what I get madder at.
Okay.
I'm not mad at him.
No.
Because he's just an idiot.
Yeah, he's an idiot that started a podcast. And
I'm mad at, I can envision the people I know that really relate to his take.
Yeah.
And they discuss it amongst each other at a water cooler or on their way, like there's people in my life that I know are probably calling people and say, "Did you watch McAfee last night?
Yeah.
Did you see what he said? Did you see the segment when he said that one thing?
Right.
About whether Tom Brady should retire and maybe it ruined his marriage.
Yeah.
I really agree with him, and I would just want to. Like, if I knew somebody was having that conversation in a vehicle, I'd want to steer into him. Steer that 96 GMC right into
Jesus takes the wheel.
Tesla and just knock them off the road.
For sure, dude. I feel like
and they're shaking creatine shakers while they're talking about
they
it.
Are.
That's what Pat McAfee, he shakes. He's a shaker.
Oh, he's a shaker.
He's got the shake cup.
So he
sits there and shakes it. It's like, let me tell you about this.
Right by the microphone. Make some more creatine. But this happens to me daily. I mean, I imagine, how people imagine, here's a fun game. Like the guy just strolled out of there and we can look at this guy and we can see he's got a jacket on. He's got a regular truck. It's an older truck. He's an older gentleman. He's getting in there very slow, of course, because he's my age, shutting the door very gently because he's got to take care of the stuff he's got because he don't want to buy another truck. And we can say that guy used to work in the oil field. He's going to run over that cat. I mean, we could say all these things about the guy, but when it comes down to it, that guy's rushing home to watch McAfee.
I know.
And, or he's going to do something else.
That makes us mad.
That makes us so angry.
Heat up a Devour Bowl or...
And here's the deal. Most people, and no one, and I might say no, most people, but absolutely zero. No one has asked me, why did I stop watching NFL? Like, no one's ever asked me, what's the honest engine? Can you give me the honest engine answer of why you watched professional sports? And I get summed up by just that story, dude. Like, you just told a great story. And all the sport, everything in that world, because it's its own world, it's its own universe, is so dripping full of poo-poo. It's all poo-poo, and the only way to wade through all the poo-poo, because they've made it into what it is. And you could say, sure, why is there an ESPN? Why? Why is there an ESPN? Well, because there's a lot of sports and people are interested in sport. Okay, but why does ESPN have to be so stupid?
Well, the problem is, like, I'm okay with it as background. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we were in here and not Pat McAfee, I wouldn't be okay with that. But if ESPN was on and it was just the TV, nobody talking.
Yes.
And I could look up and be like, oh, did you see that play? I can do that. I can understand why that's background for a restaurant or for anything. I get that.
Sure.
It's a distraction, and it's sometimes you'll see the top 10 plays, and those are usually still pretty decent catches and stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Cool dunks, stuff like that.
Stuff like that. And you might watch sports and say, ooh, that's going to make the top 10. And I get that. That's fun.
But to follow the speculation of the secondary stories of the personal lives or the personal decisions of the personal whatever, and have grown men have, 5-minute takes on whether or not Tom Brady deciding to re-enter the NFL and is ruined his marriage.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I know.
Who gives a shit?
I know.
This is a billionaire man.
It's constructed, dude.
It's all, that's what I'm saying. It's all commercialized.
Yes.
It's all a big storyline.
Yes. And people
But why are they buying into it?
Well, everyone's buying into it. They don't understand that they add all of this drama that we don't need drama. And so it's almost like NFL. Dude, this is here's my conspiracy theory. They are ruining everything for the regular person.
No, it's idiocracy.
No, I know.
That's what it is.
But they're intentionally ruining it for all of the people that regular people, the middle class. They want the middle class to rise up and revolt, so we can have a war. It happens every 80 years, and we're due for another big one. We are due. We're past due. So if they can take away everything that a normal oil worker, welder, cares about, or takes a little bit of a break, to do. If they make their Bud Light 4 times the cost, if they make gas 4 times the cost, if they make food 4 times the cost, if they completely wokeify all their sports that they're watching, I mean, all of them. I mean, hockey, NASCAR, NFL, Major League Baseball, all the big ones, all of them. If they can just wussify all of them, but it's had the reverse effect that they thought, because they're trying to ruin it for everybody, but they're getting more and more sportscasters, and the norms, the people out here, they're still getting gas, and they're still getting their can of Copenhagen. They're still buying their $80 6-pack of Bud Light, and they're still going to work, and then they're still getting around the water cooler or getting around their lunch pails at lunch pail time, and they're repeating Pat McAfee's take on, hey, is this third string guy going to work out for, the Denver Nuggets?
Right.
And they're eating it up, and they're regurgitating, and the powers that be, the aliens or the lizard people, whoever owns it is trying to ruin it.
Yeah.
Are saying, what happened? This is not what's supposed to happen. What's supposed to happen is they're supposed to be like, stop wussifying and making everything expensive. Bring that stuff down, or we're going to start a war.
I don't even look at it as money anymore. Like, it's beyond money. It has nothing
to do with money. It has to do with, they want to kill half the population. That way the other half can just still do their thing, and they can still...
Yeah, but which half do they want to kill?
They're trying to still just kill the middle class, because they think that it's easy for them to kill the middle class, because they're doing everything in the possible...
But it's working.
No, it's not. It's not working.
It's working.
You've taken hot-blooded chicken and sea.
Yeah. Feel my
men
eyes.
And women in the middle class, and you've completely wussified them. So there is no good men, and there's no real men in the middle class anymore. There's just men that are full with, hey, did you check the NBL, the NBA stats on the Denver Nuggets? Did you check the stats? Like, okay, here's what you want me to fix it? I'll fix it for you. No sportscasters, no sports radio, no talk on AM dial, the FM. The only person is the Jungle. You got the Jungle because it's always been there. Be a fan or don't.
Jim Rome?
Yeah, you get old Rome, okay, and he throws you a vine. You have to be happy with that. You can't listen to anybody else. There's no other podcast. Yeah. There's no other stuff. And everybody that's on air during the game, a Joe Buck.
Yeah.
He doesn't write any books. He doesn't do any other side projects. He doesn't show up. He doesn't sell popcorn with Aikman. He just stays on his little, Major League Baseball and NFL or wherever he broadcasts. When the game's over, shut up. You all get to shut up.
Dude, it's more...
You got Rome talking about everybody.
It's so much bigger. It's so much bigger than that.
I know that. But that's all it should be. And they should just talk about the game.
Yeah.
Not who they're married to, if they're gay, what color they are, how big their toe is, injury. They shouldn't even talk about injuries. They should say these words. He's injured. I don't care if he broke his coccyx or he's got a lump in his throat. I don't care.
Let me tell you something that's going to make you happy, though.
Please.
In the sports world.
There's a huge bomb that's going to happen.
And I don't know how familiar you are with this sport, but it's something that I've talked about a few times, and it made the list again.
Okay.
Because when you have YouTube TV, you can click on a channel called Billiard TV. And these frickin' mushmouth Europeans who still play on that frickin' felt arena, they're still competing. What's happening is, dude, there's a man that plays billiards, right? I don't know his name. Nobody in the world knows his name.
Yeah.
Because nobody gives a damn about it. But he has crafted this. He has taken his craft to such extreme that Heather and I click on Billiard TV. This guy is he is doing like trick shots to himself where he'll hit the ball at an angle to hit the corner rail, come back and hacky sack it up with his foot into a hole. And they're just letting him practice. He doesn't do it every time. It's not like Dude Perfect.
Right.
This is just airing. They're like, what are we going to air on Billiard TV today?
Chad.
Just film Chad.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where Chad had a buddy, where he was William Telling a buddy, standing against a wall, and he was going to hit the corner rail and knock the cue ball up to knock the buddy's cup off this guy's head.
Oh, no.
And the guy's like, I got to close my eyes.
Sure,
so
I can't see it
sitting
coming.
there, and they're just doing it, and balls are hitting him in the Johnson,
Sure.
balls are hitting him.
Right.
And I'm
Banging
like,
off his
this
arms.
is the greatest sport I've never seen, and nobody's never seen, and ESPN's not talking about whether Chad's married,
right?
Whether Chad went to a January 6th insurrection.
But
they're not talking about it.
I know, but here's the problem, bud. Because now that you've put it out there into the ether,
yeah,
and one person, 8 people, 15 people, 375 people hear it,
yeah,
that's going to spread like wildfire. They're all going to turn in. And before you know it, you're going to know the gender of Chad, whether you want to or not. You're going to know his pronouns.
Yeah.
You're going to know who he's married to.
It's
and
so much
how
better
many divorces.
just knowing that there's a Chad.
Right.
And like, have you seen this? That's a water cooler talk.
I know. That's old school. That's what it used to be. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
You know,
word of mouth.
It was over. It was over when they started getting to personal lives for bowlers, dude. Like, how do we bring more
I do
people?
kind of like that we know a lot about bowlers because the sport is on its own.
Well,
like put the drama in there. I want to know their
but you have to have
bankruptcies.
The right,
How many bankruptcies?
Yeah, you have to have the right stuff. You have to have the right stuff. Okay, it's like Maverick. You got to have the right stuff, dude. Okay, and so you got to have bankruptcies. You got to have what did he have for breakfast? What's his normal meal for lunch? Does he like fries, curly or straight cut? You got to ask these type of questions. I don't care. You can ask him about his costumes.
Well, basically,
you can ask him what size of bowling shoes and what brand is he is.
We should just do
that. Is cool.
That's what we should be doing. And when we're riff tracking, we should riff track bowling and billiards.
Yeah, we should.
Because nobody's like the announcers they have are usually former players and one British guy.
Yeah.
that knows every rule
knows
of everything.
Yeah.
And he's actually great.
I've seen it enough to know that yes, that is true.
Yeah.
And I do like that. I maybe that's what they're trying to do, spread it out, because the stuff that they've tried to get others involved in for some reason makes you scratch your head. Because here's the deal, and this is why I bring up bowling. When you go into somebody's personal life and say, isn't it great? His husband's coming. So, okay, you don't have to say he's gay. By the way, I don't care. It's great. I can't remember the dude's name, but he's still a great bowler. He was a pro forever and he would kill everybody. But they would force feed you his gay lifestyle, which is fine, but has nothing to do with the game. So they're trying to say it's normal. Dude, it is. I mean, so you're drawing attention to something that is fine, but it's not. It's not part of the game. He doesn't throw a bowling ball, or maybe he does. If it is part of the game, you have to explain to me why being a gay man from Australia that throws a ball that has no holes in it, why he can do it and no one else can. Is it because he's gay? So if I wanted to turn into a pro bowler, I'm taking that little piece of advice and now I'm gay because I want to be a pro bowler.
Yeah.
But if it has nothing to do with him being a pro, dog, I don't care.
Mm.
If you say he gets his lower strength from doing yoga with his husband and his husband forces him to do yoga every day, then guess what? That has something to do with it. You got to have strong legs to carry you through a follow through. Okay.
But what I don't understand, I get what you're saying. There's no reason to know
if his husband is not forcing him to do any kind of yoga or go surfing or play beach volleyball, okay, on the off season when he's not on tour, don't talk about it. I don't care. What does his husband help his sport? What?
Well,
does he hand him his gloves?
Care. See, that's the part though. I think we're dancing around.
And people will call me homophobic. And I'm not. I don't. I just don't. I'm
weirded out by their lifestyle.
I'm not weirded out by his lifestyle. If he eats 4 grilled cheese and that fills him up to balance his left tummy so he can get more spin on the ball, I'm eating cheese sandwiches. But it has nothing to do with the way he throws a bowling ball and why he averages like 280. Then I don't want to know about it, dog.
I don't mind knowing their sexual orientation if it's used like what we're talking about, where it's like this husband of his, this little hot pants fella. They show him
because I know you. Need
I guess
stuff
he
to talk
makes
about.
him. I mean, he makes him a rye bread sandwich every morning or something.
And look at this.
Yeah.
Look who they brought.
Mm-hmm.
Little Fluff. And Little Fluff, he goes running on the beach every morning with Fluff. Now, if Fluff didn't exist, would it be a different dog? Probably. But what the point of that little story is, Little Fluff waits by the door and looks at him, not his husband, to take him out for a run to go potty and pee. And I think that's sweet. That has something to do with the sports because he's building up his lower extremities muscles.
Yeah,
because he has to go walk Fluff.
That's true.
That to me makes more sense than he's married to a dude.
I think that bowling professionally,
BT Dubs, I don't care if you're married to a supermodel. You can be married to Miss Argentina, which you can't be because you're married to Miss Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying if they broke up and one of these professional bowlers got in the goods, okay, I wouldn't want to know about it either. And I'm sure I would like to look at Miss. I'm sure because I've seen a picture of Miss Argentina and Miss Puerto Rico.
If they started bowling, people would watch.
That's correct.
Yeah, and nothing sexual.
There's nothing sexual.
Just like there's nothing sexual about NFL football, even though it's like this is the only time where costumes are like
that's right,
skin tight pants.
Yep.
You make these gladiator nude. You know, they're clothed, but they're not. It's like look at their big muscles and their big shoulders and their big, you can see their whole pecker. They got these big old long peckers sitting there. There's no leg pads anymore.
For sure.
And it's like, what are we watching? This seems like just a bunch of guys pushing on each other with their wieners.
Right.
And it's like, that's the NFL. Go vote, you know? And the NFL told me to vote on the commercial.
Yeah. Well,
for the midterms. Like they told me, NFL wants to remind you guys that there's a big election. Go vote.
Yeah.
What are you talking?
Shut
up. Vote for who?
Play football.
Vote for who?
So-
My mom?
Here's to wrap that. Yeah, to wrap that up. Did your mom win?
No, she didn't. They lost pretty overwhelmingly.
Really?
Yeah.
How many votes you get?
Like 8,000. It's pretty good.
That's good.
That's
real
1%, I think. But that's pretty good.
That's not 1%. 5,000 would be 1%. 6,000 would be 1%.
I
It's
just-
over 1%.
well,
Because
yeah, maybe.
there's 600,000 people in Wichita.
Well, I know, but I don't know how many of those voted. You know what I'm saying? It could be like
Well, you're right.
200,000 voted.
Yeah, one. That sounds 1%.
So she did great. But I'm not voting.
she's on a ballot.
And the NFL can't.
How many people can you say was on the ballot for God of
I'm pretty sure
Wichita?
Steve wrote us in, so
Thanks,
we didn't
Steve.
get 1%. But
Yeah, we got one.
we got
That's good.
one, which is
Thank
pretty
you,
good.
Steve.
It's just crazy.
Just
that,
do me a favor. Just stop watching professional sports.
Oh, no, it
I
gives
think
me-
I think if everybody would stop watching it, they have to do something. They will do what they will do everything they want to do for the next 10 years, but eventually, somehow, they'll run out of money. And unless other people start injecting their money, like if Bezos buys a team and Musk buys a team and then it's XFL, and then they start changing it back to where, please watch this trash, then I might consider it. But the way they've ran it, the way they have forgotten about their true fans, they could have just made, it's like us. We can make $30,000 for the rest of our lives and be fine because we don't need anything.
Yeah.
Why can't the NFL? Why do they always have to say, well, we've got these guys, we've got these guys and these gals that are regular fans. We got to go after more females. We got to go after
totally different countries.
Totally
Totally
different country. We got to
take it to Ireland.
We got to
what?
We got to take it to. We got to take it to.
But it's
England.
never enough. And
Dog,
that's the whole point.
England knows that football exists. It's not the right football. You're not kicking a ball around for 0-0 at the end of an 8-hour game. Okay, they don't care about American football. They never will. Shut up. Get it out of England. Don't care. If you want to go visit, you want to give tickets to a team and say, hey, go look at Big Ben. And I'm not talking about the quarterback. Or
Yeah.
take Big Ben to go see Big Ben. Go do that on your own time. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to watch you play in a stupid,
Yeah, but my shirt's got cut off sleeves.
I
I got cut off sleeves.
And these idiots that go, oh, hey, check out my new jersey. That's from the London game. Like, who cares? What
Yeah.
are you talking about? Hold on, I gotta get in my truck. Look at my truck. Who cares? Do you like it? Do you enjoy it? Good for you. I don't care.
Yeah.
And most people out there didn't, but now I'm thinking they do.
Yeah. That's what I think is happening.
And I think that,
and then we're realizing
there's
we're
no-
the odd ones.
Yeah, there's no real men out there.
Well, yeah.
They're gone. They don't exist anymore. They're dead. They've been consumed by the stupidness of sport. We talked about books and the fact that no politicians or radio
burning
personalities or anybody writes books. You are issued a book.
Yeah.
If you are like Pat McAfee, which I'm surprised.
Oh, he'll
he
have a
doesn't
book.
He'll
I'm
have
sure
a
he
book
probably
soon.
does.
And that goes for celebs too, guys and gals. And I don't want to pick. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm picking on all of them that have said the words, "I wrote a book." No, you didn't.
You don't even know how to read.
You don't know how to read. The latest one that I read that said they just got done with their book and released it, Whoopi Goldberg. You're 80. You're 358 years old, and then she's leaving the View to I guess. Take a guess, Conrad. Why is she leaving the View?
Come
on,
spend
child.
more time with her
Come
family.
on, child. No, that'd be a good excuse.
Why is she leaving the View?
She is going to star in a Western.
That's actually pretty awesome.
She's starring in a Western.
Pop out, child. You're talking about Whoopi Goldberg from what movies was she in?
She was
Sister
in
Act.
Sister Act and Sister Act 2.
In Roots.
She was in Roots. She was in
Or that was Oprah.
The
Oprah's
Color
in
Purple.
Roots.
She was in.
She was in Wakanda Forever.
She was also in one of Star Trek's.
She was in that Jordan documentary I liked so
For
bad.
sure, she was in that. So she's been around. I mean, she's been around. She's been a stand-up comic. She was married to Ted Danson. She's been on The View now for I don't know how long, years. Now at 7,000 million years old, she's going to star in a Western, child.
Well,
but that's not why I brought Whoopi up. Between her leaving The View and starring in a Western that's already been shot, filmed in Montana, by the way.
Okay.
She wrote a book. Now, I don't know what the book's about. I don't know what the book's called, but she wrote a book. Now, she didn't write it. Someone that she paid wrote it, and then she read it. It's like, I wouldn't say that, change this to that.
Well, it's hard. It's like this.
And maybe she didn't read it. Maybe she just listened to books on tape.
Right. It's somebody sent her audio transcript of 2 chapters that take 15 minutes to listen to.
Right.
And then she listened to them and like, that's all fine. Fine. And then the next 2 chapters come in. And eventually after 2 weeks, she's like, it's fine. I'll sign. Okay.
Sell it.
And that somebody else is
Sell it,
writing.
child.
So I got a better idea than writing a book. I got a better idea than...
Tell me inventions.
Here's an invention,
We're
buddy.
coming through to inventions. So let's wrap up the sports. Watch billiards. Don't tell anybody you're watching billiards. Don't spread it.
Well, there's nobody that's standing holding a creatine shake,
Right.
Intensely looking in the camera,
Right.
acting as if he knows everything about the sport.
Yeah.
When you're a punter. And I know that we're all supposed to be like, that still takes... Shut up. It takes more skill to learn how to be a billiard master than it does to be a punter.
Well, my favorite punter and kicker that's ever been in the NFL is that little guy that plays with Legos, and he also kicked for the Colts. Now he might be somewhere else.
Yeah, they fired him.
They fired him because he doesn't kick no more. But he worked his way through college and finally got a scholarship, so he didn't have to pay for it. Got married to a nice little gal that he dated in high school, I think, and played Legos on his off time. And someone did a report about him, and I loved it. And so if I was going to root, which a lot of people out there did, root for anybody that was a punter or a kicker, it'd be him. The only punter other than him is,
It's you're a punter. Like, your job is to give up. That's what your job is.
Yeah.
Your team has given up.
Yeah.
You get to go out there and give up for them. Hey, Pat, guess what? We've given up. The real players have given up this drive.
Yeah.
Can you please? And he might be like, well, yeah. And sometimes I'd put that other team down in the 2.
Yeah. Down a 2. Yeah. I did that a lot of times.
Right.
Coffin corner.
That just sets up a 98-yard drive.
I made that up. Coffin corner.
If they took punting and kicking away, 1, the game would be safer.
Right.
And 2, which you'd think they would all love. And 2, I think that nobody would care.
No.
Like, it would last maybe 3 games. And then we'd be like, what? We used to punt? What?
No.
When would that happen?
That's stupid.
1930? Did they punt in the 30s?
You have to go for it. And even if they were forced to go for it in 4th down, you know what? I still wouldn't watch the crap. I have saved so much time in my life the last few years, not even thinking or worrying about it. And here's another thing. I try to watch my Shockers, whether they're crap or not, all the time. I'm pretty much done with it too, because thank you, ESPN. It's made it so hard to watch any college basketball. I'm not talking about my Shockers that no one knows. It's middle of nowhere. But it would be easier if they said, I'm not into any in ESPN. I'm going to sell a subscription for $1,000 a season, and all you have to do is go to this website, type it in, and go there, and you're going to see pregame, after game, and the game. That's it. I'd pay $1,000.
And that's probably high.
It's way high. It's way high. And they don't have that. They do, but you have to get 14 subscriptions to different stuff because not every game is on the right. We've discussed this a million times. So it adds up to $1,000. So if the school would make more money cutting out the middleman and hiring a small group of nerds to go around, audiovisual nerds, to film the game. And I don't care if it's from the rafters. I don't care if it's from one angle. Like, I don't need to see the dunks up close and then the backboard. I don't care. I like to watch it.
I think we're definitely in the minority, and I don't know how.
Oh, for sure. And I tell you what, we're not the minority of people out there, trying to preach up that tree, dude, that make it easier. I mean, you have what is called the internet. It should be extremely simple. And there's people out there, it is. Will you just go to over? Yeah, it's on ESPN2 this week.
Yeah.
What's it on next week?
Right.
Oh, College U. That's a completely different subscription.
You should know that, though. It's easy. Just
Yeah,
have
it's
them
easy.
all.
So go over there. Yeah,
Just
you
have
have
them
them
all.
all. Right. And it adds up to $1,000 a month.
Right.
So I can't afford to follow. And it's not just the Shockers, dog. Like, go down KU's roster. They won last year.
Yeah.
See what they're on. Now, the majority is on just regular ESPN.
Yeah. Not all of
But
them.
wait a minute. What's this one? Oh, that's
Mhm.
on ESPN Plus. Huh?
Yeah, it's
What's
right
this
after
one?
Disney
Is,
Plus.
Yeah, and this one's over here on ESPNU. This is a national game. It's on CBS. Good luck watching CBS on online.
Dude.
Do you have a Hulu subscription? What are you talking about?
If we... Okay, we're going to bury that we can't fix the problems with the fact that...
All sports are trash.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it anymore. Forget it. Forget it exists.
But we can't.
Don't,
And
you
we're
do something else
we're stuck.
with your life.
We're
do
stuck with...
do something else with your life.
It's
Find a hobby.
We can't.
Play
We
Legos.
can't.
You know,
We
go
have
pick
to
up,
watch Pat McAfee, Shannon.
Go
we have to.
Go pick up a veteran that's outside in the cold and
And we
bring
have
him
to
in and
talk
feed him
about him.
chili.
And we have to say things like, I actually think he's better than most of the guys.
What's your invention?
Dude, I've come up with some doozies over the years.
You sure have. You told me one this morning, which was great.
Yeah, that's a life invention. But this one, okay, we got the water stick, which is great. Water tube, water stick.
Easy.
It's a 5-foot clear glass
Yeah, tube.
tube,
Blown tube.
glass
Yeah.
that you fill with water,
Right.
and you carry it around, and that's your water tube. And it's funny and it's fun, and it keeps you hydrated. It serves
Sure
a
it
purpose.
does. Yeah. H2O, baby.
We've come up with Emerald Air.
Yeah.
You know, where we just bag air and jar air in Kansas
Yep.
and sell it to all the people overseas that are eating bats and whatnot.
Yep.
And,
People in Hong Kong that
Yeah,
can't step
the
outside.
Uyghurs.
And yeah.
So those are great ideas. Human
Oh.
Chair, Second City,
So
Switch
good
Life.
ideas.
I mean, there's lots of ideas. Why is there not? I was thinking, if you want to stay hydrated, they have Camelbacks. You've heard of that? Liquid Nails make them. They have a Camelback that you put on your back, and it's got a tube. And like as you're hiking or whatever you're doing with no water around, you can suck off this bag of water.
Well, I've heard of camel toes.
Yeah, right. Well, it's like a reverse camel toe.
And camel towing.
It's like putting a camel toe on the middle of your back.
I
and
got
just
you.
wandering around listening to Pat McAfee.
Sure, sip this.
And it doesn't look cool. And so
No.
even though somebody that's like going to say something like, I'm going to go rappelling later, like
Right.
he
Fill
might
up
be
your
wearing
Camelback,
one.
you know?
And we'd be like, okay. You know, and he might wear Merrill shoes and
Sure.
stuff like that.
Right.
Have a bunch of carabiners on them.
Yep. Surprise, they're Vans. You know.
So I get that guy exists for the Camelback industry, but for most people, it's like, I'm not walking around with a bag of water on my back.
Yeah.
But what will they walk around with? A bag of water on their front. We sell fake beards that are filled with water.
Oh, dude.
Water beards.
Water beard.
That you hook over your ears and you got a full beard. Because
Yeah.
everybody wants to have a beard.
Everyone loves beards.
Every gentleman that can't
Well,
grow a
it's-
full thick beard.
We're in the middle of No Shave November, guy.
And you frickin' everywhere I go, it's just, the big beard. My priest has a beard. My pope has a beard. It's the big beard. We get beards, because we're busy. We're not shaving.
We don't shave, yeah.
Stay thirsty, my friends, but don't,
Yeah.
Shave your beard or
Yeah.
keep your beard, but just tape water beard
Right.
on. You got a little straw in there and you can walk around, drive around. You're always good.
Yeah. Water beard?
A water beard, dude. And what shape would your beard be? You can make it different.
You can cut it how you
Because
want.
it doesn't matter. You stick the bag in the beard, dude.
Easy.
It's a water
You
beard.
always got a sip there. Hydro beard?
Hydro beard is fine. Yeah. H2 Grow, dude. I don't know.
H2 Grow would be good. H2 Grow.
I think that there's a market. It's like what I was telling you. There's so much shit in this world that is
No
just
Thirst November?
yes. There's so much shit, and all it is some sort of dumbass marketing campaign to convince some dumbass to buy some dumbass piece of shit
We should take that to Shark Tank.
for people.
Yeah.
Like, because nobody needs anything anymore.
No.
That's the problem. Like,
and that's a huge problem.
you have your house, you have your car, you have
Yeah.
your job, you have your TV.
You got your Pat
so you
McAfee.
have an entertainment. You don't read anymore.
No.
Like, you could say we don't even need TV or internet.
We
People
don't
be
need
like,
books.
how?
We don't need books.
then-
Burn them.
Now you don't need books. You know?
Nope,
But we have books. You could just say, just read books.
for sure.
They're free at a library.
Or burn them for heat because,
You know-
heating's going on.
But everybody has everything. You can't buy anybody anything. So
No.
what you do is a holiday comes up
You
or
invent it.
or a frickin', birthday comes up and you go out and you go, well, what do I buy this person to make them feel that I love them?
Yeah.
Because you have to do something. And you bought it all. If you've been with the same person or you have a kid that's 18 or
Yeah.
you bought it all.
All of it.
So the only thing left is like, I just got to find some junk that they haven't seen before
Right.
or some junk that is funny.
Boom. Waterbeard.
Waterbeard. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter if it
doesn't
ever
matter.
gets used.
No, it doesn't matter.
Somebody will take one picture with it on.
And you're right. And Christmas is coming up. And I'll tell you, you want me to tell you the biggest trick? Here's the biggest trick in the book. Because humans are inherently lazy, even if we don't watch sports and we're doing something.
Yeah.
We've filled the gap somewhere else. Some people miss it. Most don't. But what you do is you find something that your wife doesn't use a lot of, but does use. So let's say your wife, and she does, because I know this, she every once in a while, she'll get a wild hair and she'll make like a couple loaves of bread.
Yeah.
Or something
Right.
like that.
Yes.
So she might get out some sort of implement, and I'm not talking about a mixer or your stand mixer, because she'll use that more often. Maybe it's her favorite bread dishes, and she'll butter those suckers up, and she'll pour that bread and you'll mix it up and then rise it, whatever. So you take the dishes, bud, those dishes that come out once, twice a month,
Yeah.
maybe once a month, you know what I mean? And you throw it over the fence stuff. You take them right out of the kitchen and you throw them right out of the fence. That's what I do.
They got to break a previous gift.
Yeah, you break a previous gift. And it's one of those gifts that they don't use, but they're going to use.
Well, if they see it
At some
broken, they're
point.
like, my bread thing's broken.
Right. Or you can just
And you're
break
like,
it.
oh my God, I'm so sorry. Yeah.
you can dent it. You could.
Hers would be broken because I've already bought them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I know what they are.
What you do is you go in there and intentionally break something. And now, guess what? You are the savior of Christmas because you just purchase a new one or a better one. Because that's another thing that people do is they update stuff. It's like everything was fine.
Dude,
This car was fine, but now we have heated seats. Well, now it's like, wow, I like my butt to be warm.
I got to take my Tahoe in for a recall because the daylight running lights are
running lights
on
stay
at
on.
night.
Huh? What? And now it's like the brights. So you recall, bing bong.
Yeah.
So we've
You're
now,
recalling something that didn't need. You're talking about daylight running lights.
We are now
It's daylight.
so soft as a people. We are so soft as a people that you can literally just, go to a shop and be like, this is what they had in the 30s. And it's perfectly fine. And matter of fact, it's a potato masher. It
Right.
still works.
Yes.
A little arm grease, boom,
Yeah.
potato masher. Then they said, well, we're going to update that. What are we going to do? Better potato masher. This one mashes more potatoes, better, airy, fluffy potatoes.
Well, it's always better,
Uh-oh.
better, cheaper,
Uh-oh.
better.
Mixers.
Better, cheaper.
Mixers. Now we
Yeah.
got the beaters. We got different beaters. These beaters go on. My mixer, I had all these beaters for this mixer and it blew up, but I can't put these mixer beaters on this one because they don't fit because, they engineered them a little different. So I need all new mixer beaters. Shut up. Go back to the potato masher. It still works. It was built in the 30s, dog.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
You have to.
Well, shit, you can't do that. Let's go back to horses. Okay. Let's do that.
You have to evolve and just become the consumer. I mean, that's what everything's designed as. Just consume.
My wife turned me the other day and she said, well, at some point we're going to have to treat ourselves and go down and get no new phone. I'm like, but what?
Yeah, I know.
But
Because
why?
we
You
have to buy to consume.
This is fine. This is fine. If this can turn on,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I can make a phone call, and I'm not a phone guy. I bit the bullet. You guys can go back in the show, and my partner here has given me so much crap about just get a phone, dude. Phone.
Yeah.
And I used to say, I don't need to. My business, whatever I'm working for, they'll buy me a phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can't use it for personal use. Guess what? I don't care.
It's just,
I'm never on my phone. And if I am, it's like a surprise. Like, what are you looking at? Like, it's almost like trouble. Like, what's up now?
what's so funny is we are naturally sympathetic.
Gifted.
We're naturally sympathetic to those who don't
have stuff. Yeah.
And we feel bad. Yet, to combat that feeling,
we just go buy more stuff.
We just go buy stuff for ourselves that we don't need.
Yeah.
And then we hear a story. Like, what's the most famous Christmas song? I'm going to buy these shoes for my mom who's dying. And I want her to have shoes to walk into heaven. Like, people.
I don't know
that's
if I've
a Christmas song.
I don't know if I've ever heard that song. Is it Jingle Bells?
It's like, I want to buy these shoes for my mom. And it's like, this kid doesn't have any money to buy these shoes for his mom. So they put them on layaway, and he's telling the store owner. And somebody hears him and like, I'll buy them, for you. Now take them to your mom so she can die, you know?
Right.
And so he does.
Yeah.
And people will listen to that Christmas song, but that's freaking sweet.
Yeah.
And I could just write a song, be like, I'm going to buy this
that's just
bread maker for my wife.
That's just country music, dude.
Please.
I mean,
my wife needs no, but now you just could write that song.
Yeah.
It's not about shit that somebody needs. It's like, I'm going to buy this water beard for my mom so she don't leave my dad, because, they're arguing about the bills for their stupid shit.
Right.
It's like, why do you have bills?
Yeah. Because you need a new mixer.
Because you bought shit. Because you bought the stupid car.
Because you refused to use the potato masher from 1930,
And it's like, well, I didn't refuse. You bought me the new one. It's
right.
Like, but I fucking had to. Because
I had
guess what
to.
if I show up empty-handed?
That's right.
We're good.
We're good.
You'd be like, well, you don't love me. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You already have the shit.
Where's my jewels?
Yeah, I know. I guess that's the thing. You buy something that slave children dug into the ground.
Yes.
To get.
Like cell phones, we upgrade it every year, on cell phones, and there's a little Chinaman somewhere, putting these things together. The dude's 3, you know what I mean? It's like they're in the mine. A 3-year-old mines it, passes it to another 3-year-old that is smoking a cigarette and driving the truck. That takes it to the factory. They process it. There's a bunch of 6-year-olds there because it's heavy machinery. They hand it off to another 3-year-old to put in your phone. And we buy it, and we're like, these people don't have anything. And we buy those, a new phone, it just came out. And we wait in line. Like, that's what I'm saying. This world, talk about a reset. You hear these things like every 80 years, there's going to be, big reset, the big old reset button, a war, and I'm like, God, that'd be awful. But the other half of me is like, this is needed.
Mm-hmm. Well, you don't have perspective.
We're all too comfortable.
Yeah, you don't have any perspective because there's no...
We're not grateful because we have everything. Yeah. We're grateful for what?
Right. It's like when the 9/11 and everybody's like, remember that feeling of... It's like, yeah, because finally there was some hiccup in the normalcy of the daily grind, which everybody put this amount of pressure on themselves to go achieve mediocrity to have exactly what everybody else has.
Yeah.
And... everything's the same. I mean, everybody's got the same vehicle. Everybody, if you're successful, you're driving an SUV that is a Tahoe or a Denali or whatever.
Wagoneer.
That's what you're driving.
Right.
There's no option. There's not like, hey, I'll drive this, Honda Accord.
Sure.
You can't.
No.
It's like you are successful.
Right.
If you drive up in a Honda Accord, people will see that.
Yeah. If you drive up a 1983, Wagoneer.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Well, that's out because Wagoneers are now
they'll become trendy again.
Trendy again. Let me see.
No, if you drive your vehicle,
a minivan.
You drive what you drive, like me. You drive your dad's Dakota.
Yeah, hand down.
Or you drive my '96 GMC. It's
1990 hand me down rust bucket. People say, "Well, what do you do?"
And that's what's so crazy is that
I own a club.
There's some sort of damn. I don't know what the word is.
Disease. It's a disease, dog. It's a big disease,
Where people are getting some needs satisfied within them by material stuff that means nothing. It's same thing as cheering for major league sports. This means nothing to the players, guys.
Yeah, they're getting paid whether you're there or not.
They don't care.
Yeah, unless no one shows up, they still don't care. You remember when COVID went on and like they set TVs in the stands and you watched from home on Skype and
It's hilarious.
It was absolutely hilarious. That happened.
Yeah.
And not one player looked up in the stands and been like,
they could say, yeah, it was different.
It messed up. I heard.
But guess what wasn't? My check was fine.
I hate LeBron James. And hate's a strong word. I dislike everything he's about and what that how he thinks of himself and things he says and how he plays basketball. I don't like him at all. But he said that was the weirdest. I mean, that was the most stress he had when there was no one there. And I thought, why? I mean, but it was interesting.
Well, I think that you.
But my point is, there's still basketball.
Right. Doesn't matter.
It didn't matter that anyone was in the stand. It really didn't even matter that everybody still watched.
Well, my point more is like if you're going to be LeBron James, LeBron doesn't give a crap if the Lakers win.
No.
LeBron didn't care if Cleveland won.
Nope.
LeBron just was out for, I'm going to be LeBron. I want to be the best. Maybe he had that desire.
Right.
I want to be the best. Yeah. But it didn't matter where that's at. Had he, stayed in Cleveland and just still was there, he probably would be considered the best.
Yeah.
But his whole act traveled around, and he started a shift in everybody's attitudes. Like, I'll just be like LeBron. We'll build a team like that. And that's what everything changed. And same thing with college football and all that. It's like you're going to NIL deals, all that stuff.
Well, I see a lot of that. In college football. There's so many people that's drifting away from college football, and that I'd go back to that. It's like it's not just the TV that's ruined college sports. I don't want to put it all on TV, although for me that's a huge part of it. I'm not going to chase you around and figure out who do I have to subscribe to and how much money do I have to come up with to watch every game because it's large. It's a large amount. And by the way, I'm paying you something every month that I might partake in 2 times during the season.
There's no,
But my thing is with the new rules in college basketball, football, college sports, period, I can't get behind a team. It's not like the old days where I'm watching Cheese Johnson and X-Man destroy the next team. But
you can't get behind a team when you know that the players that are playing for your team, if they don't like it there, they'll just go somewhere else.
Sure. But that's what I'm saying. There's not a full team. I don't get to see the mature.
And I like how he switched and turn around and talk about sports.
Maturity goes through, you know what I mean?
There's Pat McAfee in him.
Well, I want to see a group of guys go 4 years.
Well, my point is these things that we're satisfied by, whether it be sporting events or materialistic stuff, have no effect on us whatsoever.
No.
And so why we put so much value in them, whether it be our time, whether it be making enough money to buy the Tahoe or buy the stupid mixer or buy the bread bowls or buy the crap.
Right.
It's all, or buy the next phone. It's all, or watch the game. All this crap is just wasted energy for shit that we don't need.
We don't need. And a lot of that, I'll tell you.
And don't even want.
Yes, don't even want. And it has everything to do with tradition. And I think the powers that be has seen how they can ruin all of sports, including college and professional sports. Have ruined it all. Okay, it's ruined. It'll never come back. It's done. So what's the next thing? The next thing is like food. Like, what's your tradition? Oh, we got a turkey. We get bored of that. People start making lasagna or doing something weird every year because, everybody doesn't want turkey. I mean, it is a tradition, but it's kind of fun. Now they want you to eat bugs. They're chopping up bugs and making them in, like tofurkey. Everybody laughs at tofurkey, but that's a thing. That's still a thing. You know what I mean? And now bug-shaped turkeys are a thing, so we don't ruin the planet. And everybody's like, oh, that'll never take on because that's tradition to a lot of people. You got to have a ham and a turkey for Thanksgiving or Christmas. No, no, you don't. Taco Bell,
Well, if you go into
pizza. And some of that stuff, we can. I mean, it's no big deal.
If you go into the thought project behind it or something, it's of the puppet masters that are pulling the strings. I think that what's even more insidious is when there is a tradition that stood for whatever period of time.
Right.
Say it's 50 years that everybody just did this since we were, we like, let's just do turkeys and that since Pilgrim. We have that. That's a tradition.
Yeah, that's what we got.
Okay. Well, then eventually they start that thing where they mix in other meals. And then it's like, what did we used to? I think we used to turkey, and you start forgetting.
Right.
And then the real thought project of the Puppet Masters is to erase all of that.
Right.
So they'll go back in the history books and go, no, none of that actually exists. You won't be able to find what we used to have.
Right.
And nobody will know.
What is a cranberry?
Yeah, you won't be able to find. Yeah. And that's old 1984 talk, but I think it's funny if you start trying to look for that stuff.
But it's everything. It's almost,
modern times.
Yeah, but it's almost like it's not like they have a grand purpose. It's not to piss people off, a lot of times. It's just, can we do this?
I think it's the
can
purpose.
We erase turkey from Thanksgiving? Yeah.
The purpose is what it always, it's just control of a
just steering
chaos.
The herd
it's
another way.
Yeah.
And so it's fun to watch the powers that be stir the herd into where they wanted to go, whether it be however they do that.
And when we say things like waterbeards,
and
it sounds like that's dumb.
It's not.
It's not.
It'll be out. It's much like back in the day, me and Larpa would sit around and say, hey, what we need to do is we used to, internet was super, super new.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put out a word to everybody and say, hey, do you want a custom song for your sweetheart, or do you want a custom song for your team or whatever? Well, no, that's a thing. Yeah. It's old. It's been on Facebook for 6 years. You write a company, you could have them write the words. You could you fill out a questionnaire, and some waterhead writes a song, and it sucks. You know what I mean? Or it doesn't. It's nice because you're listening to the lyrics, and I guess a lot of people do. And then you play it for your sweetheart. You give it to them in MP3 file, and there you go. They play it in the car. You send it to them on the phone, and it's written about them, and then they show their. It's like buy a piece in Scotland. It's like buy a star.
Yep. I've been in all of it.
Right, and nobody needs a star. But you got one.
I got one. I own one, or my wife does. That's what I mean. You've ran out of. That's when you're dating. Like I've given you. I can't buy you a house. I can't buy, but
I can buy you a star.
I bought you all the other stuff. So now I guess this is all I can get you that you don't already have from your parents.
Potato matcher. Yeah. Here's a new poop knife.
Yeah.
Here's a star.
And I'm not. What I'm saying is I'm not above any of it. I'm
above it all.
Well, but I guess the older I get, or the more I just sit here and observe every habit that everybody has, I just sit here and go,
why?
Even if I succumb to it, it just bothers me that I did.
Right.
Like if I say, I'm going to go get Jonah this thing. Like, I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to.
Yep.
And you try to, on that, you're like, okay, you try to legitimize it. Like, well, I'll get him this Lego because it's building something. But it's like, who cares? Like when he comes here, son, here's how you work a sander. Take that board and go make a sword.
Yeah.
That's Lego.
Yeah. You've did Lego.
Take this board and make whatever. Here's a drill. It might be careful, but if
you put it through your hand, it'll hurt a little bit, and we'll go to the hospital. No big deal.
I don't know. It's just wild to me that people stress themselves out so much, like to go to their work where they work at AutoZone, and it's like, but they've doing 15 years, and it's like, well, what are you making here? It's like, I make like 35, and you're there for 50 hours a week with your commute, with your drive time, and so you miss everything every week, but it's like it's okay because I bought him a Christmas gift, or we did get to watch this game together.
Yeah, well, I mean, in most people, it comes down to the basic necessities, and that's why that wraps back to where somebody, power be or whatever, or just I can't say that word, what we're experiencing right now in the country, because that was put there, that I don't know what it means. It's like money. I don't know what that means. Everything's so expensive. And it's not expensive for rich people because they don't care. I mean, it's expensive. It's more expensive for them, but they don't notice. You know what I mean? Because it's like it's a little bit more expensive, and they don't care. But for regular everyday people, and then you take the solace in the fact The only solace you have is the same thing that passed down from your parents: is take care of your kids. Give them a place to sleep, and give them a nice roof over their head, and try to better their lives. Try to get them a job, or get them in a good school, or get them a car so they can drive, and teach them some sort of work ethic, and so they can take care of themselves. You do that, and it's passed down from generation to generation. Now, I was lucky enough that I got to spend at least 4 years with my kid, in prime time, but even then I was gone working quite a bit to afford to do that, and not everybody gets that. So they raise up, and they are different people. That's what, and other people, they can get their heads around that neither. They think the kids are going to be many versions of them. They're not. They're completely different people. So you can hope for the best. You can give them to that, but everybody's caught up in that, and that's the right thing to do, or everybody should be caught up in that. Get a job, afford some luxuries. Don't need all of them, but at least enough to eat and whatever. And it's getting harder.
Of them.
No.
But structure your life to where you're not buying the ones you don't want. I mean, if they're not giving you, I think a lot of people get stuck, and that could be their marriage or whatever, where it's like, shit, I don't want to have to go work here, and I wouldn't have to if I didn't have to buy this car, but she wants this car.
Right.
And it's like, I want to make her happy, but
sure.
It's killing the person that's doing it, you know, or the couple or whatever it is. Tom Brady wants to go play in the fucking NFL, and that pisses some lady off.
Yeah.
Okay. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I don't agree with either. I don't care.
No.
That's between them, but it's like,
right.
Tom, what else do you need? And it's like, he doesn't need anything. No. That's all I have is this. When I don't do this, what am I?
Right.
And that, I think that's a huge part of what his decision is. If I'm still capable of doing this, it doesn't matter. He'd probably do it for fucking free because he doesn't know how to do anything else.
Yeah, and I did watch a little bit of that. I don't know if it was a 30 for 30 on him, which completely goes against everything I said tonight.
Of course.
But I watch it for funny. I don't watch it for. I watch it for robot. He's a robot.
He's a robot.
And the thing is he's sitting at a $1 billion desk at his wherever he chose to throw up the tiniest of tiny laptops, like Tom.
Get a bigger laptop.
You could pay people to replay this in your front yard. You know what I mean? Like, you got enough money to pay a bunch of people to, watch the film for you and then play it live. You can get up on like a treehouse and watch it happen again, and he's watching a small laptop and he's just watching game film, like I get it. You're that good because you do this, but how long have you done it? How much money do you have? And like, you got to find something different, dog.
But he
won't, and he can't.
He can't.
No.
And that's, I think,
but that's him. And so, it's like,
it almost makes you, to me, it's like, well, at least he's not, it was all for the right reasons. I mean, but he got paid.
Sure. At
this point, though, you're willing to, like, I guess I don't want to be with it. It doesn't matter for him. People say that too. He's like, he's going to leave his supermodels. Like, she's 50. He's a billionaire. He can get any supermodel he wants.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't understand, and I don't want to get into who left who and why and whatever. But my thing is like, on her part, you do know who you married, right? I mean,
that's why
he's an NFL quarterback. If he wants to do it into his 60s, he's an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Now, if he gets knocked on the head again and becomes a freaking vegetable, we can have a convo. We could circle the wagons and have a convo. Like, do you really want to be a 60-year-old supermodel taking care of a vegetable? Well, and if you're a good person, I think you do. You stick it out because it's who you married. But I can I'm not forgive, but I can kind of like tip the hat. Like, yep, you told him not to strap on the leather helmet at 80, but he did, and now he's a vegetable. You done told him.
Well, how many people?
But you did know who you married
that are super famo that got paid.
Yeah.
That when they're done doing what made them all the money,
right?
Either waste all the money,
they lose,
kill themselves.
Yeah,
they can't.
Yeah,
because it doesn't matter.
They lose their goofball, dude.
Well, because none of it matters. I think what happens is you get to a point where you realize none of this mattered. It's comfortable. It's great that you don't have to worry about, but you do.
But I think that's everybody. Because the guy that's worked, and I give maybe the guy that works at AutoZone for 15 years is making $35,000. Maybe I've given that guy or lady too much credit because I think they even say that. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they're happy and it's fine. And there's a sort of normalcy, just like Tom Brady. There's a normalcy. You walk in, it might be a different locker room, but you walk into a team.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
You know what to expect.
What else you going to do? You're going to open a restaurant? I don't know nothing about that. I mean, that might scare the hell out of him, dude. He might look at us like, I couldn't do that. I had to pay people to do it,
Mm-hmm. Well,
like, you're an NFL quarterback. You figured out a billion plays and how to, break down a freaking defense in like real time.
But
you can
isn't it
kind of
supposed
figure
to be
out
scary? You know what I mean? Like that's the whole point.
Well, that's it. That's the thing. I mean, but maybe that's why there's still, you get in a comfortable rhythm and you're like, I can't do anything else. Yeah, you can. Everybody can. And it's getting over that's what people has a problem. But I think going back to the first point, I think everybody in the world thinks that. Like, I wasted so much time with this person. I wasted so much time with this job. I wasted so much time with this crappy car that I've put in, $10,000 because I couldn't find parts, and I've wasted 10,000 hours to keep it running because it was paid off. And I wasted $67,000 on a new vehicle when I could have. My other vehicle that I traded in was paid off, and it had another 100. Everybody questions everything.
It is snowing outside.
I thought I saw it. I didn't want to say anything. Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day.
If you guys want to support the show, buy a water beard.
It's pretty easy.
On Patreon. Just go to Con Radio. You'll know it's Con Radio. There's a wooden chair as our profile picture.
Yeah, that's great.
That's for Clint Eastwood in his speech. Mm-hmm. And then there's also a Mitsubishi 3000 GT as our background.
And for Casey's 2 weeks that we will not allow, we've denied.
We've denied it. You can't take 2 weeks.
Hopefully there's going to be another show. You got a double show. You get
double show.
You get a double show. Hopefully the fellas are doing one right now. Or hopefully they're at least doing it live to tape. And throw that out there.
We'll find out together.
Yeah.
So thank you guys for listening. We'll be back whenever next Friday for sure with this show. So
for sure.
With that being said, don't let your meatloaf and have an okay day. And there's a carp in the tub. All the other stuff.
And it's snowing. Merry Christmas.
Happy Veterans Day. Liquid Nails.